Bitcoin volatility is here. Ethereum will be higher. Solana will be higher. Do you have plans to introduce other crypto volatility indices, or I guess you probably need them in the biggest, deepest markets for that to make sense?
Yeah, so we would love to have vol indices on the leading crypto assets. Things like AVAX, things like Ripple.
Yeah.
One prerequisite is we need crypto options, deep and liquid markets. So things like Deribit, OKX, exchanges like Deribit, OKX are integrated in the BVIV index, methodology, and so. As these exchanges like Deribit, OKX support more, pairs and options markets, we will definitely look to integrating these type of things.
Okay, that's fantastic. Really interesting. I think people need to take a deep dive on that, and anybody in crypto needs to keep your eye on these things. Where I'd say most people in crypto are just following the price of Bitcoin. And it's interesting, you say, Cole, is that I watch Bitcoin and Ethereum prices all the time, but I would not have guessed that Ethereum was 30 points higher on the vol index. Because as a human brain, you can't really look at vol. It's hard to really understand vol. I can tell you what the price of Bitcoin is. I can tell you if it seems like it's moving, but I can't kind of inherently tell you that vol is more or less.
It's intuitive, right? Because ETH is a smaller asset, regardless of, the technology, it's a smaller asset. It takes less amount of money to move it around. And so it makes sense that the delta there's actually a bit of a spread between EVIV, the Ethereum 30-day vol, and BVIV, Bitcoin 30-day vol. Actually, when the Bitcoin ETF approvals were going on, that spread narrowed, and actually Bitcoin vol flipped Ethereum vol. And so there's been some market microstructure things to pay attention to regarding this spread, but it's interesting. Typically, it makes sense that the EVIV actually is a bit above BVIV, and SVIV, Solana implied vol above EVIV. So,
What's it like when you go out, starting to talk to financial institutions like the Goldman Sachs of the world or the S&P 500s of the world, and you start to explain kind of what you're doing in crypto? Is it, in some ways, Cole, is it easier talking to them because they have a history of understanding that volatility is important in markets? Or are they also so new to the Web3 space that you have to kind of educate them?
I think with the introduction of things like the IBIT options and the new admin in the U.S. that's pretty favorable to crypto, the tone has kind of changed with big financial institutions. They're all trying to figure out what can be their big crypto products if they don't already have them, and so.
What the London Real Investment Club actually does for you, it gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals, and that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week. And for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
It feels like there's a very strong reception to just crypto in general, but also what we're doing at Volmex. On the other hand, anyone who's heard of the VIX index and has heard of Bitcoin should understand what we're doing at Volmex, right? We have other indices, but in terms of BVIV, it makes sense to them if they have heard of this concept of implied volatility, expected volatility, as well as the Bitcoin price, and then go to some of our tradable products like the Bitfinex BVIV perp. If you've heard of Binance and OKX and Bybit, this concept of a Bitcoin vol index perp is very intuitive as well. And so we find that TradFi firms or traditional finance in the U.S. and broadly are very receptive to what we're doing at Volmex, but also retail and pro-tail traders. And so it's a very versatile product in terms of the users that it serves: traders, investors across retail, institutional, pro-tail segments.
Now, this might be a naive question, but what's to stop someone from copying your index? What's to stop someone from creating their own index? And what gives you kind of a moat? Or also, what is your proprietary technology or algorithms in actually creating that index? It sounds like it's much more complicated than just getting the implied vol of a 30-day option.
So we have a number of integrations which really help build a moat. So we have TradingView, CoinMarketCap, Bitfinex, the block has our data on there, and we have a number of other exchanges that are in our pipeline. And so I think it really comes down to first mover advantage, integrations, mind share. We're constantly mentioned by CoinDesk. In the last month or a month and a half, we've been featured in CoinDesk 2 or 3 times organically. We're just in the block yesterday. All organic. We don't work with any PR firms. Fundstrat, which is Tom Lee's firm that started covering Bitcoin on CNBC at 5,000, recently published a letter, an email about BVIV and made a video. They've done this twice recently, and so we're finding that there's a big moat that we've built around the integrations and the first mover advantage. Now we have a couple of things in our back pocket, IP wise, but I think it really comes down to first mover advantage, integrations, and then liquidity begets liquidity, right? So as we have more products coming online, as we work with some of these bigger exchanges, these top 5, top 10 exchanges, and get futures and other tradable products listed there, momentum will just kind of beget more and more momentum, and just kind of take it from there. And so we have some, companies don't win because they have trademarks or patents. While we do value that, they win because the team and the product is superior, right? And so we're focused on out executing, moving faster than TradFi incumbents, CeFi incumbents, and kind of just being the best product, and that's what we've done.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.